All I can say is you just had to be there. I took the first 3 communicants into the sanctuary in our church here at Our Lady Perpetual Help in Sublette, and I unlocked the tabernacle doors from them. I did just like this. And when I opened up the lid of the Ciborium, it was as if Jesus Christ, he thought that the angel had rolled away the stone on that first Easter morning. He was freed from his entombment in the prison. And when I had the 3 first communicants look down into the Ciborium, they looked at God. They came as close as 12 inches from their noses. 3 little people peered over the Ciborium, and they looked at this fragile little host that is the consecrated Lord in the Eucharist. And Jesus Christ thought that when I opened up this Ciborium lid, that I was going to be giving Holy Communion to the faithful at the Holy Mass. But that's not what happened. All that happened was those first 3 communicants, they looked into the Ciborium and they looked at God. And I asked each one of them, did that little host, did that look like a person? Did that look like Jesus? And all 3 of them, they shook their heads no. And then I explained to them that that's what our Catholic faith is. That we Catholics, we believe that the consecrated host is the Eucharist, that it is Jesus' body, blood, soul, and divinity, that that's the definition of what it means to be Catholic. To believe something that God has told us is true, even when our eyes deceive us and they tell us that it cannot possibly be true. We believe it because God told us it was the truth. That because of the night of the Last Supper, Jesus gathered his 12 closest friends, the disciples, around an ordinary table that became the first Catholic altar. And that because Jesus took bread and said, "This is my body, take it and eat it," that because Jesus took wine in an ordinary cup that became the first Catholic chalice, that because Jesus took that wine and said, "This is my blood, take it and drink it," because Jesus said these things and told the disciples that they should do this in celebrating the Mass in remembrance of him, that every time thereafter that these first ordained priests celebrated the Eucharist and handed on the tradition of the Last Supper meal of Holy Thursday to the next generation of Catholic priests, that every time the Holy Catholic Mass is celebrated, the second person of the Trinity becomes present, body and blood, soul and divinity in the Holy Eucharist. We believe these things only because God told us them. Happy Corpus Christi Sunday.